Alright guys, like a bit of fun and games, a bit of drama, a bit of information. So if you're working on your own 1KD, or whether it's technicians or DIYs, we have a bit of information on this one. If you've been watching our videos, if you subscribe and you've got the bell on and you're watching them as they come through each day, if I let them out in the right order, you may have already seen this vehicle in a video. We had a look over it. It was blowing smoke on startup, first time it's been in. And it's got the original injectors. It's the 317,000k Hilux. I think it's a 2008 or something. Just having a quick look. Yep, 08, November 08. What we got at the moment is it's obviously had, I think, if I remember correctly, I could be wrong, but he might have had it since new. So it's had a bit of service work. You can see it's not too dirty in here. It's pretty good actually. It's had some good regular oil changes because you can see the alloy of the head and stuff like that's great. But as we pointed out, blowing smoke on startup, which we've mentioned in other videos, all the guys and girls that have been watching all our videos and really understand everything, because you're watching all the videos and the explanations till the end, already know the reason it blows smoke is because of, it's probably got blow by, because the injectors have probably never been out. We'll confirm that. And they're probably originals by the readings. They were flogged, putting in double as much fuel as they meant to. Absolute mess. Obviously we're just getting it apart now to have a bit of a look and an inspection and probably replace those injectors, and I'll just give you a bit of a look anyway. Right, that's down number 1 port. Number 2, see the mess around the injector there? That is probably a bit of mess blowing up through there. Maybe not, hard to tell at the moment. You can have a look down all the ports at the moment. Obviously they're all yet to be cleaned. And I think that's the injector seat still sitting down on that one. I've forgotten already, but the key thing here is this injector's stuck because of blow-by, and we're just going to quickly show you. I don't think this one's going to be too hard to get out. They can vary, it all depends on what parts and materials have been used and at what stage the leaking and the blow-by is at. So going to go get a pry bar ready and maybe some other tools. Stage 1, and let's see what happens. Right, so I've just grabbed a pry bar, you know, pretty well used. Anyway, the first thing we do is just gently get that pry bar under there. Make sure you're not going to damage any of the camshaft, and let's just give it a, as I said, this one, I didn't expect that it was going to be too hard, but you can see it started moving already. That's the good news. It's already started coming up. You've got to make sure if you've got one that's harder, you can turn the camshaft lobes so they're facing down, so they're out of the way, and they can get a bit more stuck on the way out, so they can move like that, and then you go, oh no. And we've sort of mentioned this in videos before, and this video is not just about the stuck injector. There's going to be other information in it. We're going to try and fill it up to at least 10, 15, 20 minutes worth of information that's handy. The next step is if that injector was tighter, or it became tight again and it's not coming out with a pry bar on its own. As we mentioned in other videos, we don't use shifters for many things, but this is where a shifter really comes in handy, and you do need to turn the cam lobes down. You don't want to damage those faces, and if you do, they only make contact, think about it, on these high lobes at this side that open the valve. Around this side, you don't want to do big damage to it, but it's not going to matter as much. It's very important that you're careful not to do any damage, but worst case scenario, if you've got it turned so they're facing down, it's highly unlikely you're going to get to the bottom and slip or do any damage, where if you're on the other side, but this one isn't that. This one's fairly easy. We could, if we needed to, put a shifter over the inlet at that side. These are rubbish, right? So just remember, once you've got blow-by, your injectors are rubbish, just throw them away. We can twist back and forwards with our right hand at this side, kind of going, you know, back and forward to, because, you know, obviously twist and pull's the best option. You can get pulls and all that. They just don't work that well, believe me. Anyway, that's another video, another story. But yeah, just gently prying up with a decent pry bar at this side and twisting it, and she'll pop out, and there's going to be some extra cleaning in those ports to do. I'll just quickly mention, you don't normally have to use seat cutting tools and stuff like that. We recommend against it. It's got to be carefully evaluated whether it's going to end up better or worse from using a tool to cut that seat, depending who's doing it. The other thing I wanted to show you in this video was, let's get around to the EJAR, the intake. That's 317,000k stock standard. And you can see from the top it actually looks quite bad, and it may be quite bad. I don't think I can get the camera in that size hole. That's pretty well choked up right there. So this engine's going to be feeling a bit sluggish, but I need to do what I normally do and get my eye down in there and check down towards the ports and have a look forward up the manifold to see if it's worth a manifold clean. Let's have a bit of a look-see. All right, let's see if we can see what we can. Let's see, because we've got wiring looms and things in the way here. Just trying to get down there a bit so you can. I think I'm going to actually bump the button to stop the video if I'm not careful. Right, hard to see, I know, isn't it? Right, and then it won't focus there anyway because it's, yeah, that's a bit better. Sometimes it can actually look a lot worse from here, and I've said that before. You've got to be really careful before you make a decision. So what we're going to do, we are actually going to do what we normally do and scrape all this around here out, get this pipe back out of the way a little bit and get down there with our mirrors, cameras, whatever we want, and even just the eye looking down to number 4 port to make a decision whether it's worth spending all this extra money of the client's money. You know, we don't need to do things unnecessarily. We've got more work than we can do. So for us, it's kind of like, you know, I'm not going to tell you, if we can, you know, balance it out, it's a value for money approach. We do things properly, but not wastefully doing things that don't need to be done. Now, I don't want to say it's a waste. If you're doing your own vehicle, it's only your own time, and if you've got the time, then it's a pretty easy decision. You just do it, and you know you start off clean, zero position, start from scratch. When it's, you know, how much time do you spend cleaning manifolds and ports? It can be $800, $1,000 or more. You can spend days. You know, it depends how fussy you want to be with once you start cleaning. But you know, a balanced approach again, probably somewhere just under $1,000. It's quite a big job to get the rest of this off, get the manifold off, get it and the ports of the head cleaned up, and then get it all back together, and obviously plus coolant and gaskets and all that. So you're looking at pretty close to $1,000 extra from this point. He's already got some extra charge with some extra cleaning on this stuck injector because it's going to have blow-by. The oil pickup was clean. Just because you've got an oil pickup that's clean, it doesn't mean that you haven't got blow-by or stuck injectors. It just means that it hasn't got to that bad stage yet where they're all spitting heaps of carbon out everywhere. And we've explained that in other videos. Check our playlists. It's going to be called Injector Information or something like that. Search for our playlist on our YouTube channel page, whatever you want to call it. Now, I just about think that's enough for this video, and any other information can probably go in a separate video, I think. Let me just have a look around if there's any other tips and information in regards to getting this injector out. Might get my assistant to get it out while I video the removal and then just see what it looks like, eh? Bada bing. Still stuck solid, can't do it by hand. Let's get the pry bar back on again on the left side here. See what happens. Yeah, a little bit of pressure with the pry bar, but it won't twist now. So this is where we need to see. Sometimes what happens, they move and then they get tight again. Let's grab the shifter. So we don't use shifters for much, and a lot of people go, oh, shifters are dodgy and whatever. Look at this old Sid Chrome shifter, eh? It's an old one, that is. So we're just going to use that to gently twist the injector back and forth. This isn't a hard one, guys, just a demonstration again, trying to help you out. It can get a lot harder than this, so I've got an assistant here. He's going to grab that shifter and just gently give it a tweak back and forth while I try and hold the camera and apply a bit of pressure to the injector once he's ready. Alright, and we're just going to apply a bit. You just a few mil back and forth each way. I've got a little bit of pressure on it. Actually, I'll just reposition. Here we go. Okay. That's it. Every time you twist it, I can feel it coming up. This is an easy one. Right, it is coming up, no problem. But oh, there we go. So she's popped out now. That's ready to come out. If you don't mind, just carefully lift it out. Get rid of that bloody shift or wherever, and just carefully lift it out. We'll just have a quick look at it, see what it looks like, just to show everyone. Look at that. That's why it was a little bit harder to get out, and that's why it didn't have a blocked oil pickup, because the seat, let's get it to the bench. To get it to the bench before this oil runs down. So for the people that have been lazy or come along later and whatever, you might not understand this because you haven't watched all the older videos. You've got to watch all the older videos. It's like a movie or a series, and if you've come in at series 4 at episode 7, you need to go back to the start, right? So with the injectors, just quickly, these are originals because you can see that printed big number 10 on there, so these will be the originals without even going to the serial number. These O-rings generally, well, look, this is what happens, right? And this is a good showing you step by step. I'm going to turn it over so you can see. The only reason that oil came down to there is because we held the injector in that vertical position for a while. So we'll go back to this side because it's a good example. And what happens is the seat, which is still in there, you can see it's all old and crusty. It started leaking sometime recently. And the compression, what's in air, moisture, compression, rust and everything starts. And this is where they can get quite badly stuck. This one's not too bad. Then the compression, it gets worse. It works its way up and it takes out this O-ring. There's an O-ring right there. And then when that O-ring leaks, the oil that's in this oil gallery here leaks down. It comes down here and all that compression starts carbonizing the oil and bakes it into little bits and pieces. Of course, it pushes up back into that oil gallery. Then it floats in the oil system and it goes down, ends up at your oil pickup, and that's what blocks the oil pickup. So that's why with this one, the oil pickup wasn't blocked. But I'm trying to demonstrate that just because the oil pickup's not blocked, it doesn't mean you haven't got blow-by and things aren't about to just about get worse. Now, we're lucky that wasn't stuck worse, because the worst stuck ones in our experience are the ones that are like this, and they actually get caked all the way up here, but before the O-ring. If you leave it long enough, then that O-ring leaks, at least the oil coming down. It might seem stuck and tight, but it's not really stuck if it's got black carbon on it. It's actually the easiest ones to get out. This was like a minimal stuck. I mean, look, we're pretty good at this. We've been doing it a while. You know, I hope you saw the end of the pry bar, and bit of a twist back and forth, bit of pressure, and they get a lot harder than that. And you're gonna almost want to give up. You're gonna want to ring me, and the phone doesn't ring, so don't ring me. You've just got to persist. Yes, they can take hours. This one, not too bad. Now it's mainly the cleanup, and we've still got to get the seat out. You can see it's missing there. It's not there. It's going to be down in the head, along with at least one of the other ones. We've got a few missing. All right, so back from the bench, let's have a quick look in there, number 2. So the seat's going to be down at the bottom there somewhere. It could be stuck. There's going to be a bit extra cleaning to clean up that mess, but not too bad because it doesn't have that blow-by mess, but it'll be all lots sort of rusty stains down the bottom. First thing we're going to do is send our pick down there, our normal little pick down. Number 2 and number 4, both the seats stayed behind. You've got to make sure you get them out before you clean up, otherwise you're just cleaning the old seats. You don't want to have a double seat situation. Go for it with that pick, mate, when you're ready, and we'll just see. Sometimes you can get it in there and hook it around the inside of the seat and just lift it out. Sometimes you have to go from one side to the other, whatever the case may be. And let's just see. Let's have a look at the end of that pick just quickly. Okay, that's what it looks like. Yeah, that's good. All right, no worries. Down in the middle of the hole, and hopefully it's not stuck there, and you can just lift it out. And then we don't have to go to the next stage in this video, and we can say, bada bing, subscribe, turn the bell on, give us a thumbs up so we know we're giving you the right info. Looks like you got something hooked on there the way you brought it up. Very good. Look at that, guys. Beautiful. Let's get rid of that one and get the next one. All right, in we go there, number 4 port, to try and get that seat out. Sometimes they're really stuck to the head, so I'm going to give you the tip for all the people that hung around and are watching and learning, so they can avoid these problems, you know, doing it themselves, or they can tell their mechanics or technicians or diesel fitters or diesel gurus how to fix cars, because there you go, I'm sure a lot of them know. Another one out. All right, so that's a bada bing. We're pretty well bada boom now. If they are stuck there, you can get a large flat blade screwdriver and just give the seat a gentle tap with a hammer. The precaution is make sure you don't hit in the middle and around the hole, because you'll actually miss the you'll miss the seat. You don't want to be hitting the alloy of the seat that the seating washer or gasket's got to sit on. You want to be just giving the gasket itself a tap to crack it loose. Then you should be able to lift it out with that pick like we did with the rest of them. Guys, for this video, that's enough, I reckon. If you liked it and you learnt something, you got something out of it, please give us the thumbs up, and bada bing, subscribe, bada boom, turn the bell on so you don't miss out on the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. See you. Another little quick tip actually before we do go. We're going to put all the seats, make sure they're on the injectors or together, and count and make sure there's no got left over anywhere. And look at these dirty old pipes, mate, as if you're going to put these anywhere near new injectors. New injectors, new pipes. If you need an injector kit, you know, you can hit us up. Watch our video. We released one not that long ago with all the injector kit purchase information videos. Bada bing, we're out of here. See ya. Subscribe, bell on, thumbs up.